Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this world. This is John West, back to you with Japanese Business and Economy. Yes, John West, back to you with Japanese Business and Economy. We're here for the third part of our Class 3. Class 3C, we'll be looking at Japan's outstanding architects. Now, architecture is an important part of the Japanese economy. There are over 300,000 architects in Japan and about 80,000 students of architecture, according to the International Union of Architects. Japan indeed has a long architectural tradition through its temples, shrines, and castles. Not surprising that contemporary Japanese architecture should also be so good. Japan has some of the world's best architects. In 2019, Arata Isozaki won the Pritzker Architecture Prize, a sort of Nobel Prize for architecture. He's the 8th Japanese out of 46 winners to receive this prestigious annual award. Indeed, Japan has won this prize more than any other country, even more than the US. Let's have a look, have a chat with Arata Isozaki.
My name is Arata Isozaki, architect. 生まれは九州の大分です。時代は第二次世界大戦が始まろうとしている頃ですね。初めての建築体験というのは何もないゼロの状態の都市。この都市が、建築がどうやってこのゼロの中から生まれてくるだろうかということを考えてたわけです。平和な社会になると無茶ができないんです。おとなしいものしかできない。これは何やっても面白ければいいのに、当たりゃいいだろうと、失敗してもしょうがないという時代がたまにあるんですね。この時代によってアーキテクチャというものの意味とか概念をどういうふうに考える。もうアーキテクトというのはビルディングだけ作るようなアーキテクトと現代でしょうがないというような時代にこれから後なるであろうと。そういう時なので何か、新しい時代のアーキテクチャというものがこれから生んでくるならば、これまである部分、あるいは表層化してしまった部分で、さらに進化できる可能性が今あるだろうというように思っています。
Now let's move on to Arata Isozaki, another Japanese architect. He designed Barcelona's largest covered sports facility, the Palau Sant Jordi, which became the epicenter of the 1992 Olympic Games. The dome was raised from the ground using innovative hydraulic technology, and its imposing outline is reminiscent of a turtle, an organic element that ties in with Antoni Gaudi's work. Now, when the New York Museum of Modern Art undertook a major renovation and expansion in 1997, it hired a Japanese architect, Yoshio Taniguchi. It didn't hire the American architect. And there is a beautiful photo of the MoMA, as they call it, the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Now, someone else who's interesting is Kengo Kuma. He's another one of Japan's leading architects. and he designed the stadium for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which of course was held in 2021 because of the coronavirus. Let's listen to some of his thoughts.
実はこの日本橋三越はうちの親父の遊び場だったらしくてね、日本の時から友達とここに遊びに行く、子供の時から遊びに行ってたって、その小学生の時から日本橋三越遊びに行ってたような親父だったので、僕もよくここに連れてこられてね、で、いろんなことを教わったんです。日本橋三越の中って文化がありましたから、その売り場を回るとね、いろんな文化を、教わった、僕にとってはすごい学校みたいな重要な場所なんですよね。やっぱそういう場所で仕事ができるなんていうふうにも悪かったんですけどね。もともとの日本橋三越の建物っていうのは、日本のアールデコ建築の中の、トップクラスのものだったわけですよね。で、アールデコっていうのは20世紀の初頭に、新しい時代のワクワク感みたいなのをね、最大限に表した建築様式で、僕実は昔から大好きだったんです。で、有機的な感じで光に満ちてるなんか夢の世界みたいな感じをもう一回現代に蘇らせたい。で、それはアールデコがモチーフにしてきた木っていうのを使ってやってみるのが一番いいんじゃないかな。で、そうするとその木がね、柱のように並んでいくと全体に森になるんですよ。なんか白い特別な森に迷い込んじゃってみたいな感じでね。でそれと同時に江戸から続くその大黒天のね持ってるその江戸文化、あるいはその日本橋の一番コアな部分っていうのを、そういう部分も感じてもらいたいなと思ったんですね。その最先端、その当時の最先端のあるでこと江戸の棺の文化みたいな、その2つのね合体をこの空間を見ると、これがそうだったんだって分かっていただけるんじゃないかなと思ったんですね。やはり日本のデザインっていうのは、その単純なものを組み合わせていって、すごい特別な豊かさを出す。江戸の切子細工なんかもそうじゃないですか。そのガラスにひし形のものを組み合わせて、そうするとなんか特別な輝きが出るみたいな、そういう日本のデザインのエッセンスを、海外の人が見てもね、すごく日本的だなって思ってくれるかもしれないと思うんですね。元橋ってやっぱりある程度しつらいってことがすごく重要になってくるわけですよね。で、今回この空間っていうのはそういうしつらいとしてはね、すごいセッティングになるんじゃないかなと思うんですね。で、この空間の中で様になるような素晴らしい少しの皆さんがお出迎えしてくれたらば、そのお出迎えのそのマナーとしつらいとがぴったし合わさって、そういう感動をしていただけるかなと。
Now, perhaps the most famous Japanese architect of modern times is Tadao Ando, who is in fact a self-taught architect. He won the Pritzker Prize in 1995. Let's have a look at Tadao Ando's 10 iconic buildings. Now, perhaps the greatest example of Japan's modern architecture is the Sky Tree. You'll see it there in the photo. It's an enormous structure sitting there in the middle of Tokyo. And of course, it's a wonderful example of how Japan can make earthquake-proof buildings. Now let's have a look at how engineers used ancient techniques to protect Tokyo's skyline from earthquakes.
In Tokyo area, the big earthquake occur. That is a challenge for us to design such a high-rise structure.
To stabilize the tower, engineers rely on fluid dampers developed during NASA's Apollo space program and from something closer to home. The engineer's first step in controlling the shake of the tower centers around an ancient earthquake-proof structure called a Japanese pagoda. A flexible earthquake-dampening central pole called a shinbashira stabilizes this tiered wooden structure. Skytree's engineers are emulating this ancient technology, creating an enormous 1,200-foot concrete column set on 6 giant rubber bearings.
Now we are here at the bottom of the core column. I came up with the core column system because there is a shinbashira in Japan.
And sandwiched between this mass and the tower's steel structure lies the Apollo-inspired fluid dampers.
The upper half of the core column is connected with the oil damper to the steel structure.
Situated between 410 and 1,230 feet, the series of fluid dampers control the movement of the freestanding 11,000-ton concrete core and the steel exoskeleton throughout a seismic event.
During the earthquake, the core column designed to shake just a little bit slower compared with steel towers. That condition is a reason why the core column system reduced the vibration of the Tokyo Sky Tree.
The different vibration cycles of the central column and steel frame can counteract the vibration of the entire tower.
If the oil damper isn't installed, the core column will collide the steel structure. The core column will collapse.
The system is so effective, it reduces an earthquake's vibration by 50%, meaning Skytree will survive Tokyo's most severe seismic activity, the likes of which is only expected once every 1,000 years.
The vibration control system is a unique system for Tokyo Sky Tree. This is the first one in the world.
So let's have another look at some...
Next in Tokyo, Japan, we'll take a look at the construction site of Tokyo Sky Tree, the tallest broadcasting tower in the world. Our correspondent spoke with the designer of Tokyo Sky Tree on how it was built to resist even the strongest earthquake in the country.
Tokyo Sky Tree will become the world's tallest freestanding broadcast tower and is revealing its secret in overcoming earthquakes in quake-prone Japan. Standing over 630 meters high, Tokyo Sky Tree was designed by Nikken Sekkei, a Japanese architecture firm experienced in building quake-resistant high-rise buildings in Japan. The company developed a system of adding mass as a balancing weight to buildings to control how they sway during an earthquake. For the Tokyo Sky Tree project, the emergency staircase situated in the core of the tower acts as the mass, controlling sway during an earthquake. According to Nikken Sekkei, it's the first in the world.
The core column and the surrounding steel frame are constructed separately
Therefore, when it shakes from an earthquake, they will shake in different ways. This system works by utilizing their different ways of shaking to repress the overall sway.
違いを利用して、全体で、揺れを抑えるという、そういうシステムになっています。
Along the core, oil dampers are also installed to absorb shock. These act as cushions and are able to absorb swaying up to 50%.
で、間のところにはですね、隙間が約1メートルぐらいあるんですけれども、
In the middle, there's a space of about a meter, and from the height of 125 to 375 meters, we put 6 oil dampers. This is to control swaying so that the core column won't hit the inner part of the tower. They also serve to absorb the energy from an earthquake.
The concept of using a central mast for the Tokyo Sky Tree was borrowed from traditional Japanese wisdom of building 5-story pagodas. The longest standing pagoda in Japan is regarded to be at Horyuji Temple in Nara Prefecture, built in the 7th century. Tokyo Sky Tree will be open to the public in May 2012 as Tokyo's newest landmark and popular tourist attraction. Liliana Yap, NTD News, Tokyo, Japan.
So I have one last video on the Sky Tree.
Styles and create a cohesive sound. Thanks to this, Dear Prudence.
I think as a humanity, we're always looking forward, but there really is an art in remembering what our ancient technologies have brought us and how they have stood the test of time.
昔から一本の木の芯柱をタワーの中にも入れて、それをこう連結する形で、うまく地震に効いているんではないかという説があります。
By having the Shimbashira in the middle of the sky tree, when there's an earthquake, the oppositional sway of both the Shimbashira and the sky tree slow down the vibration by about 50%.
これはコンクリートシャフトでできた芯柱と呼んでいるもので、タワーのちょうど中核の部分に、位置しています。そういう大きな地震があっても、ほぼ無損傷で、放送を継続できるような頑丈さを持っています。
Who really would have thought that we don't need to be in structures that are completely rigid to be safe?
So that was a brief overview of Japan's outstanding architects. As I mentioned, architecture is a very important part of the Japanese economy. In fact, it's a very important part of Japanese culture. And I hope that you get the opportunity to visit Japan. Japan is now opened up after the coronavirus. And if you make it to Japan, please visit some of these architectural wonders that Japan has, particularly the Sky Tree. Take the ride up to the top of the Sky Tree and experience the wonder of Japan architecture. So thank you once again for joining me for this brief lecture on Japan's outstanding architects. I look forward to seeing you next time.